On NFL Sundays, we're united by the colors of our team, but on Mondays, we're divided by the color of our skin. There are problems in our criminal justice system. America still has a problem with race, and it's time for us to make that right. And as athletes, we're trying to bring this country together to have that conversation. And when you look at the effects of the war on drugs and these tough on crime legislations, they always have a disproportionate effect on communities of color and communities that are low income, which oftentimes are communities of color. And I've been able to see that with my own brother, who made a mistake as a young kid and was charged with a felony for marijuana possession, and years later still cannot get a job. As a black man in America, it is hard to continuously watch video after video of young black men and women being shot and killed at the hands of police, and even more frequently being dealt with harshly and roughly without care for our well-being or our lives. My colleague Anquan Bolden, this hit directly home for him. His cousin was killed by an off-duty officer after his car broke down on the side of the road and he was on the phone with AAA. And so when we speak about this, it's not out of ignorance, it's because it's personal. Like most people I know, the extent of my activism a year ago was simply reading an article, watching a video, and retweeting a hashtag that had gone viral. But since then, I really tried to become part of the solution. And the way I've gone about that was to meet directly with police officers and figure out what are some of the resources that they need. I met directly with legislators on Capitol Hill to make sure that if there's any pieces of legislation that was for reform, that I could use my platform to support it. I then took my teammates to Greater for Prison here in Pennsylvania to meet with men that have been incarcerated. We've all got to take ownership in our own communities, in our own states, in our own country. And so that might look different depending on where you are. Here in Pennsylvania, we lead the world in incarcerating juveniles and giving them life sentences without parole. And so those are things that we can all get involved in to speak up, tell our elected officials that we do not want to lead the world in locking up our own citizens. And if it's one thing that I've learned from being on a team that with players that are from different races, different backgrounds, different religions, is that when we listen to each other and we respect one another, we can always work together toward a common goal to winning. And that's what we want to do as Americans, is win. And the first part I challenge you to do is to really listen and give others an opportunity to speak.